crossroads. Alula has long been a place where the world has come to meet. A place of collaboration and cultural exchange, creating bonds between territories, cultures and people, one thread at a time. As we come together to explore history and celebrate different cultures, Alula is proud to reveal its wonders, its cultural heritage, its continued regeneration, and the hospitable nature of its community. Let's embark on a journey high in colours, from majestic mountaintops to lush forests and pristine coastlines, and discover the stunning beauty and diversity of UNWTO winning villages. Today, the world meets in Alula. Welcome.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome to the Best Tourism Villages ceremony held by the Saudi Ministry of Tourism and the UNWTO here in the one and the only Al-Ula in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This ceremony, absolutely. This ceremony that brings together delegations from around the world and from over 40 countries. Welcome all to Al-Ula. Now, all of those, I know that calls for a round of applause too, yes. Now, all those also joining us virtually from around the world and from wherever from around the world you're joining us and watching us from, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Fatma Fahad, and it is a great pleasure to join you all in this amazing journey, in this wonderful, outstanding building of Al Maraya Concert Hall. I would like to take the moment to point out to those participating in the room, please remember that interpretation is available to you at your disposal. And I would like to encourage you all to please go ahead and join the conversation on our hashtags. We have created 3 different hashtags that you can join. We've got hashtag Best Tourism Villages, we have hashtag UNWTO, and hashtag Meeting in Al-Ula. And feel free to use 3 of them, we don't mind. So I hope you all enjoyed visiting the Old Town earlier today and enjoyed lunch and perhaps tried some traditional dishes. I know I've enjoyed the journey. I enjoyed reenacting and living old times with the kids shouting and playing and yelling, and the buyers also yelling and trying to promote their products. That was a lovely experience, and I hear tomorrow is going to be even better. But for now, I would like to leave you with a few moments of another taste of Al-Ula, a traditional performance with traditional men and traditional Al-Ula enchanting. So please enjoy.
Whenever you go rural, you're about to change your life. Whenever you choose this path, you'll find your promised land. Here, the biggest thing is the smallest one. Here, our history becomes the foundation of your stories, because rural is not your destination. It's your destiny. It's the simple whisper and the kindness of people. So keep going. You're about to change your life. Because going rural is being one with nature and the serenity of the wilderness. It's your past, your present, and your future. Because rural is not the end. It is the beginning. Discover the best tourism villages 2022.
That was certainly a beautiful dance from the Northwest region in Al-Ula, ladies and gentlemen. Now, without further ado, getting right into the proceedings of our ceremony, please join me in welcoming on stage His Excellency, the Minister of Tourism of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Ahmed Al-Khatib.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon. Buenos dias. I'm trying to learn more with the time, I promise you next time I will greet you in all languages. To our guests from near and far, I extended a very warm welcome. I trust you are enjoying your stay in Saudi Arabia, and it is truly an honor to host you here in the magnificent Al-Ula. It is entirely fitting that we gather in this remarkable destination to celebrate the world's best tourism villages in partnership with the UNWTO. One of the 2022 best tourism villages this year and a UNESCO World Heritage Site that is listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world in 2023. As an industry that provides employment for around 10% of the global workforce. The tourism sectors play a key role in shaping societies and building economies. This is especially true in rural areas, where tourism can transform communities by creating jobs, supporting local businesses, and keeping ancient traditions alive. The success of the tourism villages highlighted today reflects the sector's power to drive economic diversification and create opportunities for all, especially for those who live in rural communities. Nearly 1 billion of the world's 1.2 billion youth reside in developing countries, 88% of whom live in rural areas. 75 million of them are unemployed. The impact of tourism on such communities is both far-reaching and plain to see. The industry has the potential to unlock socio-economic development, power job creation, and accelerate poverty reduction. This in turn drives prosperity and reduces regional inequalities, as well as advancing female empowerment. 45% of the people employed in tourism are women, whom also enjoy greater opportunity to progress the leadership roles. We all know that the UNWTO Best Villages Initiative built on the Al-Ula framework for inclusive community development, which was endorsed under the Saudi presidency of the G20. Today's ceremony will recognize special villages across the globe that have embraced the development of tourism as a key driver for positive transformation. Each has demonstrated a strong commitment to economic, social, and environmental sustainability, with a focus on developing tourism in line with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. In doing so, they are helping to build a more resilient and sustainable future for the tourism sector and for the communities that depends on it around the world. Tourism has always been about more than just travel. It serves as a bridge between cultures, brings diverse communities together, and shines as a beacon of peace and understanding. As Saudi Arabia Minister of Tourism, I'm proud of our country's contribution as a global partner driving change across the sector. It is vitally important that the industry is developing in a way that embraces the values of the UNWTO rules, the rural development programs. We must work together as safeguard the natural environment, preserve cultural heritage, and empower communities. By focusing on the growth of the rural tourism to reduce regional inequalities, we are creating exciting opportunities for youth all around the world and further advancing gender equality. I would like to finish up by congratulating all the remarkable destinations represented here today. Every one of those great villages shine as an example of what can be achieved when tourism is developed as a force for good and truly embodies the industry's power to create a better world. According to the WTTC 10 years forecast, travel and tourism is on track to outpace global growth at a rate of 5.8% annually until 2032. With such immense growth, the responsibility upon us as a global tourism community is ever greater, which drives us to join forces to make the world a better through tourism. With that said, I would like to thank my friend Zura and the UNWTO for the greater partnership to make tourism a force for good. We in Saudi Arabia remain committed to reimagine tourism. We will continuously work on defining what it means for generations to come. A travel and tourism industry that puts people, places, and planet at the heart of it. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish you enjoy Al-Ula has in place for you this evening. I wish you to enjoy Al-Ula and what it have for you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It is absolutely and entirely filling together in this remarkable destination, as you mentioned. Thank you for pointing out the impact of tourism on rural areas. I mean, 75 million of the world's youth reside in faraway areas and in developing countries and are unemployed. Tourism has indeed been more than just travel. It is building bridges between cultures, bringing communities together, and promoting peace, acceptance, and understanding, as His Excellency pointed out. Thank you, Your Excellency, for emphasizing the importance of natural environments and preserving natural environments, preserving cultural heritage, and empowering communities. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to know more about this vision and how we are taking it from being just a vision into action, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Mariano Altmaier, Mayor of Alcazar in Spain, and Mr. Ammar Al-Madani, CEO of the Royal Commission of Al-Ula. I guess, ladies and gentlemen, we are super excited to get into the proceedings of this ceremony, but we do want to call first Mr. Zurab Bulikashvili for his speech, and then we'll get to our previous opening. Thank you.
Sorry, my speech will be a little bit long, so thank you to give me this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. I'm very happy to be here, and I will start with the protocol part. Your Highness, Princess Badr bin Abdullah bin Mohammed bin Farhan Al Saud, Minister of Culture of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and member of the Board of Directors and Governor of the Royal Commission for Al-Ula. I know that His Royal Highness is not with us this evening, but he is, because all what you saw and what you will see is especially under his support, under his help, and he is a great leader with whom I met with my first visit, I remember quite well, who is putting and who is promoting Saudi culture worldwide. And my very warm regards from our community to His Royal Highness. Your Excellency, dear Ahmed Al-Khatib, our meetings sometimes are risky because, as Nelson Mandela says, it always seems impossible until it's done. It was almost impossible to imagine that 2 years ago, when we started talking about this project, that we will have participants from all over the world, ambassadors. You, all of you who are coming from villages, and you are with us. I want to thank all of you who came from very far from the world. And many thanks, your presence, it's very important because for us it's a really historical day. Very historical day because I've never saw any event worldwide where you have such wide participants from ambassadors, ministers, talking about villages and rural development. Maybe you can stop the presentation. This is the picture when I visited 5 years ago with His Excellency, first time in Alula. I remember Amr, he was waiting at the airport. That time, by the way, there was not airport, there were not hotels, there were not cars, there were not nothing. I mean, it was only desert. This building was inaugurated 2 years ago. That time also was impossible to imagine that we will be back with best tourism villages. So thank you, Excellency, for your support. You are very humble. You mentioned that you contribute. You did not contribute. You are one of creator and author with me, with us, with your excellent team, Princess Haifa. Welcome and thank you to be with us. Facht, thank you. I know that you are also were involved from the very beginning. And also let me to thank to my team, especially to Sandra Carvao, Zoritza, Antonia, and all team, and especially the Riyadh's office. Riyadh's office, it's not only Middle East regional office. This is the office which specially dedicating with the best tourism villages program and of course education. 2-star projects, by the way, for our organization. I don't want to forget anyone. Many thanks again to all of you. So today, Alula is a symbol of the kingdom of openness, and it's a strong example of the power of tourism for rural development. The Excellencies, dear representatives of best tourist villages, dear friends, today we are back where is this project started. In 2020, we were in the middle of the biggest crisis in the history of tourism, but that did not deter us. We looked forward to be a better future built around tourism. In fact, in 2020, the theme of World Tourism Day was tourism and rural development. And the same year, as His Excellency mentioned, under the Saudi presidency of G20, we made a major step forward. With G20 Tourism Working Group, we created the Alula framework. So it was our commitment to do more and to do better. And that moment we started we started this project, I mean, Best Tourism Villages, because we recognize what our sector can offer rural communities, both here in Saudi Arabia and everywhere. Tourism is a lifeline and can deliver real solutions. Around 80% of people living in extreme poverty live in rural areas, not cities. They are twice as likely to be in informal jobs, and they are half as likely to have access to the digital world. That's where we come in. Our mission, marketing tourism, a driver of rural development and well-being. Our vision, growing the role of tourism in protecting villages, their landscapes, knowledge, and values. The best tourism villages shows us what's possible. They are leading the way in developing of tourism's potential to create jobs, build and support local businesses, and to protect natural and cultural heritage. That's why this week the people who live and work in the villages will take a lead. Tomorrow, the Best Tourism Villages Network will have its first in-person meeting. It will bring together a community working with one goal, making tourism a tool to empower their fellow citizens. But our vision and mission go much further. The opportunities are there. I have seen this for myself. Just 2 weeks ago, UNWTO was invited to China to celebrate its reopening to tourism after 1,000 days. And I had a chance to visit best tourism village of Yukon. We saw what our sector means to people. We saw how tourism was an important empower to the traditional flavors alive. But we also know there are challenges. We know this because we have listened to our members and to the villages. They say that we need to invest in infrastructure, education and skills, social and environmental sustainability. For this reason, in the next few years, the UNWTO Tourism for Rural Development Program will create the biggest network of villages in the world. We are now last year we had 42, now we are 93 villages together. The Al Jadida Art District is at the center of the new way of creating opportunities. Here, we see farmers are returning to old methods. Local markets are selling local produce, including to tourists. Young people are being trained by the arts foundations to become artisans and entrepreneurs. There are 250 local guides working here, people earning a living by sharing their heritage with tourists. And 50% of tourism management team are women. It really is an inspiring example of how the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is investing in tourism. To close, allow me to thank our generous host once again. You have been with us from very start, as I mentioned, of this journey, and we are still only just beginning. And above all, thank you to our special guests, those people making a real difference in their home communities. Thank you very much.
Many thanks for sharing this inspiring vision, Secretary General, and showing us how tourism can change people and communities. Now, as you highlighted, tourism is a lifeline and can indeed deliver real opportunities for all around the world. This vision is at the heart of what this initiative is all about and at the heart of what these villages represent indeed. Thank you, Secretary General. Now, to know more, as we were saying, about how we turn this vision into action, please, again, have a warm welcome and put your hands together to our dear guest in this very important panel, Mr. Mariano Altmaier, Mayor of Alcázar in Spain, and Mr. Amr Madani, CEO of the Royal Commission for Al-Ala. And of course, we won't forget the great moderator for this session, Carmen Roberts from BBC Travel Show. Welcome, and please have a wonderful session. You may start.
Thank you very much. But before we start, let's have some housekeeping notes. When English is spoken on your headsets, Arabic will be on channel 1. Now, when Spanish is spoken, English will be on channel 1 and Arabic on channel 3. Okay? So great. Well, let's get underway. We want to shine the light on 2 of our best tourism villages. We've got our host nation, Al-Una, and also one of 3 Spanish villages, Alcázar in Spain. So both of these are historical, ancient historical destinations, but you've both embraced tourism so very differently and very successfully. Let's start with you, Amir. What is the secret to your tourism success?
Thank you very much. First of all, I have to say there is a lot more energetic stuff that happens on this stage at night, okay? Concerts and dancing, but for that you'll have to visit us. And I'd like to first welcome you all to Al-Ula, Your Royal Highness, our Deputy Minister, Princess Haifa, Your Excellencies, and our fellow villages leaders and sector partners. To me, success is an accumulation of many things that have to come together. Clarity of vision is probably number 1. We're very blessed to be living in a time where Saudi Arabia is a leading economy in the world today with His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Vision 2030. The Crown Prince, the chairman of the Royal Commission for Al-Ula, has made it very clear through this ambitious plan that we will diversify our economy. We'll make it more innovative, more inclusive, and there is no better sector than tourism that can help achieve this. We are going to triple the contribution of tourism with the leadership, of course, of our Minister of Tourism here, from 3% to 10%. So clarity of vision is number one. Total inclusivity by not thinking about people with CSR programs, like an additional luggage, by thinking about people as the source of wealth creation, by putting them at the core journey of development, and of course, by clearly differentiating yourself from everybody else. The pie is increasing, but you have to be different. You have to innovate, and without that, people will not buy your product. And of course, having a wonderful team of international young Saudis to help this become a reality.
Yes, this is my first time here in Al-Una, and you are definitely doing something very different. Why the modern take?
I think in Al-Ula we look at how we succeed is how can we basically renaturalize the world, the natural world, bring it back to life, restore heritage, but definitely remember that we live today to add part of the future legacy because we live today.
Yes.
We want to make sure that when everybody does an archaeology, 1,000 years from now, they see something different than the past. We have to leave our footprint. And I think tourism has suffered globally that modernization and development has looked always as an enemy of restoration and conservation. And I think this is an old model that doesn't work. I think modernization means using technology to have better conservation, enabling people today to cherish the past, but offer new products that have today's contemporary feel of the past. And I think we have a secret recipe in Al-Ula, we call it Journey Through Time, where we believe Journey Through Time is not only backward, but also forward. It will remain, and I think we use a motto inside the Royal Commission for Al-Ula by saying, we will never get modernized, we will just age with style.
And also aging with style is Mayor Altamir in Alcazar. So tell me about your efforts. You have also embraced tourism, but in a very, very different way. Tell me the secrets to your tourism success.
Bueno, buenas tardes a todos y en primer lugar pues agradecer mucho a toda la organización, a las autoridades que han hecho posible este evento y desde luego me quedo sorprendido del sitio donde estamos realizando esta jornada. Bueno, pues yo también decir que aquí me acompaña el alcalde Rupid, el alcalde de Guadalajara no ha podido venir, son 3 localidades que están en España que han venido aquí y que bueno, pues estamos súper orgullosos de venir. Nosotros, nuestro estilo es una cosa ya de historia, de mucha historia, los 3 núcleos. Daros cuenta que la colegiata o el pueblo medieval de Alquézar se constituye a partir del siglo IX. O sea, es una cosa que ya teníamos un patrimonio heredado importantísimo y que nosotros poquito a poco hemos ido puliendo ese patrimonio tan importante que teníamos de nuestros descendientes anteriores, ¿no? Creo que es importante la labor que hemos tenido que hacer de contribuir todos a que ese patrimonio heredado se conservara con autenticidad, no con falsidad. Entonces, eso era muy importante para nosotros. Y claro, si eso lo añades a que estamos enclavados en un sitio que es un parque natural de deportes de aventura, de barrancos, de cañones, con también lo que es el tema de un parque cultural, patrimonio de la humanidad por la UNESCO, y teníamos una colegiata también que es una costilla fortaleza, pues teníamos muchas patas de una mesa para contribuir a que esto fuera adelante, ¿no? Pero ha sido un esfuerzo muy importante, no solo de las corporaciones municipales, que yo he tenido el honor durante 32 años de dirigir, sino que también de esas corporaciones que están conmigo apoyándome en la labor importante de saber gestionar y convencer y gestionar las voluntades de los vecinos del pueblo. los pueblos. Y bueno, y eso ha sido un éxito que poco a poco, y sobre todo yo nunca he pensado de hacer una labor importante en 4 años, una legislatura que es la que tiene el Estado español, sino pensar que es un proyecto de mucho futuro y a largo tiempo para que esto saliera adelante. Si pensamos que queremos hacerlo todo eso en muy poquito tiempo, tendremos un rechazo seguro de la sociedad, de nuestros pueblos, que no entenderán ese cambio tan importante que va a surgir en el momento que llegue a haber mucho turismo o son sitios, destinos turísticos. Y desde luego, bueno, pues es un esfuerzo muy importante. Y sobre todo buscar muchos consensos para que esto salga adelante. Consenso significa desgaste principalmente del alcalde también.
Yeah. So I think Amir mentioned it before. Community is really key. How important is this? You know, I looked up some statistics. Al-Qazar has 300, a population of 300, and the old town here in Al-Una is around 5,000. Is that too much? Or is that an accurate figure? How do you retain the skill base? How do you retain your people?
In my opinion, I think this community aspect of the challenges that we're all addressing should be turned around to be seen principally as a framework of opportunity. And I think people returning back to the villages is the only way villages can come up. Al-Ula is historically known as Wadi al-Qura, the valley of the villages. It's a series of villages connected by a culture oasis. So in total population, it's around 45,000 now. If you go to one of these villages, which is the culture oasis in the old town, I would say today less than 1,000 people really live in that part, and it will grow to probably 2,000 to 3,000. The community needs first an opportunity to engage before they need training. You don't need people to think that everybody needs training and we have to train you. I think you want to allow participation. People are smart. They have lived here. They know how to create wealth. They know how to create proper agriculture. So as a matter of fact, sometimes we decision makers could benefit from a little bit more training from the local community. So we need to not use top-down. So what we do is we really go to people and we engage them. They will make mistakes, we'll make mistakes, and then we evolve our collective skill base together. Now, that being said, we are set to create new types of jobs, technologies, new expertise. So we definitely sit in partnership with Ministry of Tourism, some of the largest, most ambitious and focused capacity building programs, scholarship for people to go out, not to only get the technical skills, because we can bring that here, but we need people to go and see how things are done. Be ambassador and create traffic back to us as well. We also run a community engagement program called Hammaya, which was sponsored by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. And if you think about the word Hammaya, it means guardians of their own city. So we don't come to protect the city from its people. That's quite consultant type of advice, right? So we involved everybody to actually wake up in the morning, learn about the valuable things you have. You've forgotten how valuable they are. We've forgotten how valuable they are. The Crown Prince's vision has sort of awakened how valuable they are to all of us. Come and we trust you. We trust you that you will be a better protector than everybody else. So I think capacity building with local communities is best served when you engage them, give them a space to make their own decision, and allow training, but don't just count on that top-down approach.
Right. That's a valuable point, actually, that it's a two-way street.
Yes.
And Mayor, in Al-Qazar, just a few years ago, you were faced with a town that was going to have basically no population. How did you turn that around? How did you bring back the community?
Me atrevería a decir que ha sido como un milagro. Para que os hagáis la idea, en 1950 la gente no tenía futuro y no creía tener futuro. Y suerte a gente que se quedó ahí, que dijo, bueno, yo creo que luchando, mejorando, podremos tener futuro. Se consiguió una dinámica contraria anterior, de que la gente se iba a las grandes ciudades, no se quedaban en los pueblos pequeños, y hemos conseguido de que la gente viniera y conociera Alquezar y valorara y apreciara Alquezar y quisiera Alquezar, que era importante, ¿no? Aquí en este camino no ha sido sencillo, pero bueno, aquí ha habido mucha gente que nos ha ayudado. En primer lugar, me acompaña un técnico de la comarca del Somontano, que es el vínculo comarcal de toda una zona que siempre ha apoyado a Alquezar, siempre. Y que después las diferentes instituciones, administraciones autonómicas y nacionales nos han ayudado. Eso es importante. Pero lo importante era cambiar esa dinámica tan mala que era de que la gente, nadie creía en esos pueblos pequeños, y de que ahora hemos pasado a todo lo contrario. Ahora tenemos, con 350 vecinos, tenemos alrededor de 180.000 visitantes anuales. No había un restaurante y ahora hay 16 restaurantes, hay 5 hoteles, 2 albergues, 2 campings, para que veáis el volumen de gente que podemos mover, ¿no? Pero eso es importante, la gente tiene que pensar que hemos actuado en la autenticidad del patrimonio arquitectónico que heredemos, ¿no? De ese patrimonio que costó tanto a la gente crear. Esa trama urbana medieval que tenemos, esa fortaleza árabe, todo eso que estaba en ruinas, pues conseguirla y ponerlo en valor, ponerlo en ese punto que fuera la gente lo entendiera como una cosa para poder visitar. Y eso ha cambiado, pero no, como he dicho en la anterior respuesta, no es de 4 años, sino que esto es un trabajo muy largo, muy largo, muy largo. Y por eso la importancia de este reconocimiento y el orgullo como alcalde de poder estar con todos vosotros recibiendo este distinción. Es importantísimo.
I heard that you said you've got 35 restaurants, 2 hotels. I heard that you'd had to restructure the childcare system in Alcázar so that the women could work in these hotels and restaurants. Is that true, and was that easily done?
Eso es otra cosa muy importante. Hemos conseguido que antes era el trabajo que tenían estos pueblos de España, pequeños, principalmente la agricultura y ganadería. En ese campo de agricultura y ganadería la mujer pocas posibilidades tenía. Y entonces ahora con el sector servicios tenemos la gran posibilidad de que pueden adaptarse a un trabajo, ¿no? Y es necesario. Y si te analizas la situación, ves que el emprendedor, la gente que ha emprendido estos negocios, la mayoría son mujeres, con lo cual entienden que es una posibilidad de salir adelante y tener un futuro por delante, no para ellas, sino para sus futuros hijos o sus familias también. Pero también es una cuestión importante. Es importante tener unos conjuntos históricos bonitos, pero es importante tener el emprendimiento. Si no tenemos emprendimiento, no nos sirve para nada, porque la sociedad, el turismo, está deseando tener ese patrimonio, pero también disfrutar de la gastronomía, de la bebida, del alojamiento, de los guías de montaña, de barrancos, de naturaleza, de todo.
So we are running out of time, but I guess with my job, with the travel show, we look for off-the-beaten-track destinations, places that aren't so well known. But this isn't, as you all know, is not always an easy path. So for instance, sometimes with my job I spend one whole day traveling. You know, we fly drones and sometimes we can't get the GPS points. It's the infrastructure, things like that. But obviously these challenges must pale into insignificance to what you have to face. Can you tell me some of the challenges? Maybe we'll start with you, Amir. What are some of the big challenges that you face, and how have you overcome them?
We're overcoming them as we go, and in general, to me, at least in our experience here, we had to be inclusive from day one. So bringing people back, some people have left the town, given up on the assets they have, and mind you, and we'll get to discover this more, some of the most integral, amazing natural and cultural assets in the world, and the last historical sites undiscovered. So these are very serious assets. So bringing people back to participate in a very inclusive manner while going fast. So I appreciate your comment, but I think we will go fast, and we have to go fast. The economy needs to be built. How do you do that in a balance where people participate? Number 2 is how we appreciate that the competition is not as easy as people think. People's time is becoming limited. A lot of places are well developed. So how can we create a brand that's not single asset led, that is not a day visit, and how can it make sense to people where your competition is not the villages, your competition is also the mobile and the virtual world. So coming up with a differentiated value proposition is not an easy game. And I think in Al-Ula we're able to place ourselves just in the right space, where even by being developed to 5% of our vision, we're averaging at 3.8 night stay, and our spend per head is double what we anticipated, and we have sometimes within the year people visiting 5 times. So I think you have to stay consistent developing the right brand. Number 3 is how to be sure that you're not doing it alone, and connect with global partners and tap into others' strengths. We are coming late in the game, which honestly, one of our biggest strengths. Our sites are intact. Our equation is starting with great potential.
And sustainability.
And that's where we can put sustainability, environment, and the business model right together, so we can ride this wave faster than competition. And finally, of course, is to have a competent team that can run this for a long time and building organizational and institutional excellence.
That's fantastic. Mayor, do you have the similar challenges? I guess, are you in competition, for instance, with the Barcelonas, the Madrids, those sorts of destinations that are very popular in Spain?
Bueno, yo creo que no es competición, yo creo que se acoplan todo, yo creo que es importante. Al final todos creamos una marca potente, en este caso es la tuya aquí, el territorio es tu territorio, nosotros es Alquézar o el Somontano, y yo creo que es un complemento al turismo. El turismo no quiere descubrir continuamente cosas. Yo creo lo que pasa que es importante el que esos gente que nos visita a nuestros pueblos después sean embajadores y hablen maravillas de esos sitios. Y eso es costoso, eso es importante, porque una experiencia buena puede ser una visita a un monumento histórico, pero tiene que ir también combinado con una gastronomía, un trato, una amabilidad, un personal que te atienda correctamente, y al final no competimos, sino al final yo creo que es buscar nuestras marcas, nuestro posicionamiento, y todo suma, todo es importante. Al final, daros cuenta, y habéis dado un dato importante, de que la población, casi toda la población está en las grandes ciudades, abandonando muchas zonas rurales que se están despoblando en el mundo, ¿no? Y que esto nos surja a nosotros y que estemos en este foro es importante porque es una herramienta muy útil para el futuro, para que nosotros podamos tener vida en nuestros pueblos. Y eso es importantísimo, y eso nos lo va a dar el sector servicios, el sector turismo. Pero lo tenemos que hacer siempre buscando una marca, pero una marca que sea comprometida con un destino que sea aceptable. Si nosotros buscamos otras fórmulas extrañas, podemos caer en el error que han ocurrido en otros sitios, que al final ese destino que era atractivo deja de tener un atractivo.
Okay. Now we're almost out of time, but just finally at the end, how important was it to be included as a best tourism village? How important was it for Al-Ula?
And I think for the last 7,000 years, Al-Ula was part of global network of villages, all the way from the Incense Road main distribution to the 9th century AD major trading hub. So joining this village is bringing Al-Ulas back to being a global participant. We as village leaders should use this opportunity, and we intend in Al-Ula to do so, to learn and develop common practices together, create in a humble way new ways that leverage that everybody is now running away from big cities noise. There is a lot of what people call FOMO, fear of missing out, pressure in the cities. In the villages, I think we should enjoy a little bit of JOMO, joy of missing out. Go away from the pressure, sit and enjoy what nature, culture has to offer. Luckily for all of us, all global trends show that this is a premium product. So for all the villages, we should raise the flag high, create optimism, and together make sure that during this transformational wave of people running away from cities, that ruler is not a destination, it's a destiny, and you said it very clearly in the opening video.
I like that, Jomo. That's great. And what about for El Quezal? Was this a big thing to be included in the Best Tourism Village? How important was it for you to be included?
Atractivo. Bueno, yo pienso, hay que decir, sobre todo, tener conciencia colectiva. Es importante desde la administración local, la más cercana, autonómica, provincial, nacional y la población de la gente. Ahora hemos conseguido que esos aventureros que vinieron hace 3 décadas, 4 décadas a nuestros pueblos, ahora ya son aventureros, son turistas. Pero tiene que entender el turista que esos espacios son frágiles y que esos espacios frágiles tenemos que intentar que perduren el tiempo. Esto no puede ser para nuestra generación, sería un error. Esto tiene que durar para muchas generaciones. El esfuerzo que se ha hecho territorios como el tuyo, como el nuestro, tiene que perdurar muchas generaciones. Es importante. Es un legado histórico que nosotros hemos recibido y que nosotros tenemos que dejar en mejores condiciones. Y reitero la necesidad de decir que somos territorios frágiles y que hay que concienciar y que si hay que decir algún día que un determinado momento no se puede venir, pues no se podrá venir. Pero es que es importante que sembremos esa conciencia colectiva de lo importante que es en estos territorios, de ser galardonados en esta organización. Esto es importantísimo y que después eso es mérito de mucha gente, pero lo tenemos que mantener y conservar. Es importante.
Well, it's wonderful to see two such fantastic small villages doing so well on the world stage and prospering in the tourism sector. And don't forget next time you're on holiday to embrace the joy of missing out. So thank you very much for a lively discussion.
Carmen, for moderating this session and for giving us such great insights and sharing your passion. And now I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen, for the next segment, as it is the reason we are all here today, the moment where we recognize the villages that have become Best Tourism Villages by UNWTO for 2022.
El turismo ha significado una oportunidad de generar un ingreso económico. El turismo significa un cambio constante, una oportunidad de crecimiento económico, social y ahora en estos últimos 4 años hemos dado el enfoque sostenible.
Very good afternoon to all. I'm Sandra Carvão.
Marhaba, I'm Antonio.
And we are the UNWTO Tourism for Rural Development Program. This is the special occasion that we have expected. We're here to celebrate the power of local, the power of traditions and people. As of today, more than 300 villages have presented to become a Best Tourism Village by UNWTO in only 2 years. But only those that are really committed, that they want to make a better world, are included in this list. It's not an easy process. 9 areas of evaluation determine if you're part of it or not. And now, without any further ado, it is my great pleasure to invite on stage His Excellency the Minister of Tourism of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so that we initiate the ceremony of the awards. Secretary General of the UNWTO, Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili. discover the first set of best tourism villages.
Starting from Austria, representing Bahrain and Selam Sea, a warm round of applause to His Excellency, the Ambassador of Austria to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please join us on the stage. Bahrain has developed a comprehensive information platform for its tourism business. They created, among others, the initiative Organic from the Valley. Through this initiative, a specific group of locals, farmers, and the Sustainability Management Committee of Bahrain Tourism work together. Zamel Sea is famous for its landscape, for skiing in winter, hiking and biking in summertime, but also for its innovation. Through an intensive program called Climate and Energy, the village has implemented several measures to support sustainability. The results are CO and waste reduction and increased food from local producers.
Congratulations to Austria for their two villages, Ben Brain and Zell am See. And now from Austria to China, we give way to the next villages. From China, directly joining us, representing the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, please welcome Mr. Wang Jun. Wang. Mr. Wang, you're welcome on stage. And representing the village of Dazai, Mr. Wu, very welcome and congratulations. Dazai village has a history that goes back for more than 2,000 years. They have reclaimed the hillsides and converted them into terraced farmlands. Since the 90s, the village's new journey towards developed ecological tourism has diversified their sources of income and brought an increase in welfare to the lives of local people. Thank you so much. Congratulations to Danzai, and I now would like to ask the representative of Danzai to exit the stage, because we will continue in China. China has two villages.
Yeah, and also from China, please welcome Mr. Zhu Chen from Jinchu. Jinchu village has also integrated agriculture with tourism, balancing tourism development and the protection of local cultural heritage. This is a new initiative to promote the products of the village, build a sales platform, promote employment of residents, and increase income. The village has developed as well smart tourism projects to provide intelligent services for tourism by using mobile and big data technology. The applications of multimedia and 5G has introduced the digital era of smart tourism to the village, which in turn has successfully met the individual needs of tourists. Thank you. Congratulations.
Once again, congratulations to China. From China, we move to the other side of the world. We go to Latin America. From Colombia, representing Coachi, please welcome Mayor Carlos Velázquez Garzón. Mr. Mayor, Coachi is located 39 kilometers from the country's capital and has developed tourism by valuing its natural, cultural, and gastronomic richness. The Chorrera, the highest waterfall in Colombia, is one of the major natural attractions. The village is protecting and preserving more than 400 hectares of natural area by acquiring land for deforestation and environmental protection. Congratulations to Coachi.
And joining us from Ecuador to represent Aguarico, a warm round of applause to Mayor Juan Carlos Orellana. Joining him on stage, Mr. Santiago Salazar will be representing the Ministry of Tourism of Ecuador. Aguarico is located within two protected areas. Thanks to their initiative of conservation, the region has received several recognitions. The village is largely inhabited by indigenous Quechua and Guarani cultures. They defend their jungle and put the protection of their cultural heritage, including their tradition, language, clothing, and gastronomy at the highest level. Congratulations.
And we continue in Ecuador. Also from Ecuador, joining us is the mayor or Aguachagua. Please welcome a lady mayor, Mrs. Rosa Colimba, joining us from far, far away in Peru. Angochagua is a diverse territory that works to preserve its ancestral heritage, along with its native language, its cosmovision, and traditional cuisine. Aguacacha is also part of the first and only UNESCO geopark of its kind in Ecuador. This came as a result of the efforts of conservation and holistic management of the territory. Congratulations to Aguacacha in Ecuador.
From the Americas to Africa, from Ethiopia, representing the Chalk Mountains Eco-Village, we welcome Mr. Abiy Alem Mehari and His Excellency, the State Minister of Tourism of Ethiopia. Chalk Mountain is the third highest mountain in Ethiopia, located 300 kilometers of the capital, Addis Ababa. The Chalk Mountains Big Eco-Village has developed sustainable land management and is promoting solar energy, biogas, and waste management. The local farming community in this village lives in harmony, promoting fair trade tourism and nature conservation. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Ethiopia. And from Ethiopia, we travel back to Europe, representing the country of Georgia and the village of Mestia. Let's put our hands together to Marian Kurivish. I'm going to say this wrongly for sure. Kurivishvili, the head of the National Tourism Administration. Oh, it's the minister. What a great surprise. Minister, very welcome on stage. The Deputy Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development. Mestia is known for its diverse landscape, rich forest areas, and alpine zones. It was named the cleanest tourism region in Georgia, and it's developing eco and agritourism to raise quality standards and introduce the micro and small businesses support program to the community. Congratulations. And this is all for our first group of villages. There will be more to discover today. Let's take this opportunity also to give a warm round of applause to all of them. Our first group of village, note them down to visit in your next trip, please. And we are already looking forward to discover the next group. Secretary General, His Excellency, thank you very much for your presence. You're now invited back to your seats, please. And I have the pleasure of giving back the floor to our fantastic MC, Fatma Fahad. Back to you.
Thank you, Sandra and Antonio. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and many congrats to all the villages and examples we have seen so far. Now, to continue on this road of inspiration, and if someone has experience in rural development and has seen firsthand the positive impact of tourism that has on local communities, it's her, our next speaker. Winner of the Basque Culinary World Prize in 2022. Winner of the Best Chef Rising Star in 2021. And founder of Fuluni Kitchen Foundation. Executive Chef Dine on a Mat. Joining us from the heart of Africa. Please welcome on stage my companion on the flight to Al-Ula, Chef Fatamata Binta.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here for a cause that we all care about so much. I have one question. How can we advance tourism for the benefit of rural communities and become more self-sustainable? My answer is gastronomy. Food is the primary connector. It is what brings us together. It is one of the motivating factors when people plan plan their movements and their experiences, which opens doors to experiences like culture, traditions, music, art, fashion, stories that inspires, and conversations. The list goes on. Right now, as we gather here, most of us are looking forward to experiencing the local cuisine. I believe so. 5 years ago, after going to culinary school, I worked in hotels in East and West Africa. But one thing was missing for me: identity. I wanted to find my identity as a chef. And it didn't make sense for me to cook the food I didn't grow up eating. So I wanted to understand my cuisine, explore my region. And I started traveling across Africa to get inspiration. For 2 years after, I launched a kitchen called Dine on a Mat, which is a nomadic restaurant. And our main goal is to create vibrant dishes inspired by Fulani communities across Africa. Fulani is the largest nomadic tribe in the world, and their lifestyle is very much sustainable. And I wanted to tell their stories and share it with the world. But most importantly, also, I wanted the concept to reflect the people, because these are people who are moving from one place to another. So also, it was a way for us to take a piece of Africa outside of Africa and share it to the world, spark conversations, and also that plays as an invitation for people to want to come and see Africa and experience the authentic cuisine. So a big part of it for us was important for us to also collaborate with local artisans, because I believe we can do anything, but we can't do everything. So we started doing our research, and then we brought together a team of different artisans to come under one umbrella to create an experiences. So our tea expert is a guy who has been brewing tea in a local bustling market called Nima for over 20 years. Our flute music player is someone who's been playing music for over 10 years. Our sous chef, she had no formal experience. She just grew up in the kitchen. She's a passionate chef, and she carries so much knowledge about African gastronomy and ingredients, to the point that whenever we visit local markets, she will pick up the same ingredients from 4 different bowls or 5, and she can tell you which one is from Togo, which one is from Nigeria, just different neighboring countries. And that knowledge was important for us to pass down to students, internships, programs, people coming from far and near. So that means, for me, collaboration is key. So this movement that we all care about, it's very important to collaborate with other people. And that's how we can achieve a sustainable tourism goal. One key takeaway has been, for my team and I, that staying curious and exploring can bring so much knowledge into preserving and promoting culture. Also, learning and collaborating with locals is very important, because you can't do everything alone. There are already local initiatives going on, and partnerships goes a long way. Converting the knowledge locally is a way of promoting and preserving culture. Creating what you yourself would want to experience also is very important, because you can't sell tourism that you yourself don't enjoy. You have to experience it, place value, and then you can share it with the world. Over time, that's something that will become a destination or a go-to place, as long as it's value for money. Understanding today's traveler also is very important. Social media is a big thing now. Everybody is logged on 24/7, so it's important to do your research and understand the needs of your travelers. Inclusivity is very important, partnerships. Because one thing with these projects that we've been working on in the north of Ghana that has taught me is that there are lots of initiatives that goes into these rural communities, making promises that they never keep to. to the point locals are not open anymore to partnerships. They just think about now, they don't think long term. So most times when you go there, they just want cash. They don't care about what you're building, they just want to cash out and go. So building trust is very important. When you promise to buy a bag of rice or fonio from a farmer, you make sure you keep your word, because contract is not something that people do in the rural areas. Creating media promotion, creative media promotion is very important for your experiences. So a lot of that goes to, say, documentation. One thing we've been doing is that we've been documenting recipes, culinary stories, and sharing that to the world, because most people don't want to just eat food. They want to have experiences. Last but not least, don't be an extractor. Collaborate in a more meaningful way. If you can build trust, you can build a long-term relationship, and that's how we can grow together. This behind here is the project of our foundation that we've been working on, and we look forward to welcoming you to Ghana. Thank you very much.
So inspired by Chef Binta's words. Such an honor to have you here, Chef, and we should definitely try your food sometime. And now it is time for us to continue, ladies and gentlemen, our journey throughout the best tourism villages by UNWTO. Please enjoy the Coming Up Villages.
Mi nombre es Manuel Lamas Gama, soy artesana de lamas. Para nosotros es importante el turismo porque valoran nuestro trabajo, nos dejan economía para mejorar la calidad de vida de cada uno de nosotros.
And now, into the journey, our second group of best tourism villages by UNWTO. To do so, please, let's welcome once again on stage His Excellency the Minister of Tourism of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the UNWTO Secretary General. Thank you. Joining us, sorry.
So let's continue our tour, and we start in Italy. Joining us from Isola del Giglio, I welcome Mrs. Elisabetta Giundrinetti and His Excellency the Ambassador of Egypt to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please join us on stage to celebrate the inclusion and recognition of Isola del Giglio in the Best Tourism Villages 2022. Rich in history, in a unique natural environment, the island is committed to maintaining its identity, avoiding depopulation and promoting policies that support tourism development as a driver factor of its economy. It has set up management committees with various actors engaged in agriculture, fishing and tourism, as well as young people, entrepreneurs and associations. Thank you and congratulations.
And also from Italy, representing Sauris Sorru, welcome Deputy Mayor Alessandro Col, who will join His Excellency the Ambassador of Italy to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on stage. Sauris Sorru is a village located in the valley dominated by the Dolomites. The area has been semi-isolated for centuries, making it possible for traditions, custom, language, and architecture to remain unaltered over time, where even an ancient language is still spoken today.
Big warmer applause, and now we actually come from Europe to the Middle East. Representing in Jordan, let's welcome His Excellency the Secretary General of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities of Jordan. Please, sir, if you can join us on stage. The stunning Ampais village is part of the Alamut Nature Reserve, which is the last natural extension of the Hope Forest, the national tree of Jordan. The village promotes the inclusion of people with disabilities through the rehabilitation and development of accessible infrastructure. And this is one of the reasons where they're part of the best tourism villages.
And from Mexico, representing Creel and El Fuerte, we welcome His Excellency the Ambassador of Mexico to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please join us on stage. Creel is home of the Ramamuri communities, supported by cultural diversity and provide employment opportunities to the villagers. The village has introduced Ramamuri experiences. As part of the experiences, men coordinate hiking tours and women offer cooking and weaving activities to strengthen the implementation of community-based ecotourism. El Fuerte has often been referred to as the main colonial town of western Mexico. El Fuerte was designated as a Pueblo Mágico in 2009. El Fuerte headquarters of the Office of the National Institute of Indigenous People. It's committed to the conservation and promotion of the Mayo Yoreme indigenous culture. The town works to include farmers and artisans tourism products through tours to the indigenous community as form agritourism. Congratulations to both.
Ambassador. And now coming from Morocco to represent the villages of Ksar El Kouabart and Moulay Bouzer Koutoun, which I'm sure I said this wrongly, but Ben, the colleague of Morocco, will tell me exactly how to say it. Please welcome the Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy of Morocco in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Village built in the 19th century. The village values tradition and culture and also initiated the development of an oasis museum to preserve its authentic culture. Local farmers and craftswomen are included in the development. And the small village of Moulay Bouzer is part of the Argan biosphere as well. So 2 villages from Morocco are with us today. The Argan forest plays an important role. Ambassador, thank you so much and congratulations. We look forward for discovering more of your villages.
And from Peru, representing the village of Lamas, we welcome Mayor May Diaz and His Excellency the Ambassador of Peru to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please join us on stage. Lamas is known as the folkloric capital of the Peruvian Amazon. It's home of the only Amazonian people of Andean origin, and it aims to keep their ancestral culture alive, preserving their dances, rituals, festivals, and languages. The local government implemented the project Lamas Memorial City. Urban art is being introduced to the village to enrich the overall touristic experience.
Excellency the Ambassador to remain with us on stage. Mayor, we ask you please to take your seat. Señor Alcalde, muchísimas gracias. Puede tomar su asiento. Señor Embajador.
The Ambassador. Okay.
So we'll have the Ambassador back again. Also from Peru, please welcome Mayor Modesta Chalco Inca from Rachi. And if I can invite His Excellency the Ambassador. The Ambassador, very gentleman, went to Rachi is located between 3 extinct volcanoes. The Rachi woman plays an active role in leadership in the community tourism centers where they offer innovative experiences wanted their community to host visitors, and actually they have more than 80 rooms equipped today for the use of tourism. Congratulations, enhorabuena, muchas felicidades.
And now, continuing with recognizing our villages, it's my pleasure to welcome on stage to represent Castelo Novo, His Excellency the Ambassador of Portugal to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The oldest mention of Castelo Novo dates back around 1202 before Christ. The village has launched an inclusive and sustainable urban mobility project, a pilot program which targets companies, residents and visitors. It is the first location in mainland Portugal with 100% sustainable mobility, free of carbon dioxide and noisy emissions. To strengthen the feeling of belonging of children and to encourage child entrepreneurship, the village has initiated a new program called Creative Stories.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Muito obrigado e muitos parabéns. And now from the Republic of Korea, from Portugal to Korea, representing Pyeongsa-ri, please welcome the First Secretary of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in Saudi Arabia. This village is a base village literature on ecologic and literature values. It has replicated the setting of a Korean novel named Toji, which means land. The village has recreated settings from the novel and has developed new and innovative experiences. They're also working on smart tourism by promoting immersive media content and providing smart mobility to improve accessibility. Congratulations to Korea. It is really great to see how the best tourism villages by UNWTO are growing and making a difference. We are looking forward to discovering all of the villages in our last group in a few minutes, but now, His Excellency Secretary General, thank you again, and you can go back to your seats. Thank you so much for supporting the ceremony and being with us. And Fatma, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. So many amazing places to be discovered. And this momentum leads us into a road of inspiration for our next session, how the private sector can actually support and work together for rural development. Now, let me invite back on stage Carmen Roberts and our distinguished guests to share their insights on this important issue. So please, Carmen, rejoin us on stage. And joining her is Paras Lumba, founder of Global Himalayan Expedition, and Ricardo Fernandez Flores, CEO of Destinia. Please welcome them on stage.
Well, we're here to talk private partnerships and rural tourism. So let's kick off in a different way. Let's start with one key word. Can you identify one key challenge? Each of you give me one word that you face in your day-to-day life in trying to make rural tourism a success. What is your one key challenge? Let's start with you, Ricardo.
You love this kind of thing,
Yeah.
just
One word,
one
one
keyword.
word.
I would say after the event, entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
Will be my keyword, yeah.
Okay, and what about you, Paris? One word.
I think for the public-private partnership, the biggest challenge has always been the ownership. One word is ownership.
Ownership, okay. So let's revisit this. Entrepreneurship, what's the issue there? Let's expand. How is this a big challenge?
I guess it's quite similar to ownership, to be honest. The idea is, okay, if you look at the people that today has been here on the stage, we have seen a lot of mayors, but what I'm seeing is a lot of public entrepreneurs that is taking something from scratch and then are creating jobs, creating wealth, and creating opportunities for people to live in the rural areas. And I guess all of us need more entrepreneurs and find and train the entrepreneurs and support them in order to move forward. For the public industry, for sure, they can help in the promotion and creating the destination, but they need entrepreneurs in order to create the product, and also they need intermediaries like us, you know, the distributors, in order to really impact massively in the world and sell the product and try to really move to another stage. But I say entrepreneurship is fundamental for what we are speaking about today.
Okay, and is ownership something similar?
Yeah, almost similar, but let me break it down. I mean, I won't call it public-private partnership. There is another element which is for rural tourism. It's called the community, the participation of community. And because we have been working in the Himalayas, electrifying villages for so many years now, what we have seen is that whenever there is a work to be done, and there's intent from both the sides, both private, public, and community, the ownership is always not coming forward. Who is taking the first step? And that's where I've seen, if you mobilize the community, they do a pilot. And then the private sector comes in to show another pilot. And then you have the government, you know, getting mobilized and making sense. So I think the first mover should always be public, because till the time they don't put investment in, the private sector will not mobilize. And community can only do so much. But I think that's the key element where things go off and the challenge is big.
Who should have the ownership, though?
I think all the stakeholders should have equal ownership, but the advantage, the investment should start from public first, because that's the role of it. I mean, think of it, I mean, in a remote village, if you don't have a road, if you don't have connectivity, nothing can happen. So government needs to put those basic infrastructure up, and I'm sure things follow afterwards.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. Can I add something?
Yes, of course.
I guess, you know, the public sector needs to identify the opportunity to put the minimum infrastructure in order to move forward. But after that, the ownership, the only that makes sense is the private sector take the ownership. Because you need the people really involved. And it's not a matter of public sector, it's a matter of people or your community or whatever.
And to be doing it sustainably, I think sustainable development is really key now, especially since the pandemic. There's been more emphasis on this. So how do we bridge the gap between the public and private partnerships and making it sustainable? And bear in mind, there's so much greenwashing these days. How, you know, with you, let's start with you, Paris, because you were bringing solar panels to Himalayan villages. This must have been quite difficult at the start.
Yeah, the mountains are quite high. You have to climb almost 5,000 meters to reach the other side of the mountain, where there's a 1,000-year-old village waiting for you. So it's emotional, but it gives you an idea that this is what it takes to electrify a village. But one of the key aspects, as you mentioned, is where you can actually bridge the gap, is during the discussion stage, if you can have the KPIs, which is a very technical term for some people, even for me, the key performance indicators, very common for all the three stakeholders, same. Or let's put it very simply, the SDG goals. It says everyone has a SDG goal on his business card, or in their presentation you'll see a SDG 5, 3, 1, 2, and all that, right? It's very clearly mentioned the targets, the indicators, and the performance, right? So if you can use that as a baseline, as a common denominator, I think all the stakeholders can work on that and then progress forward. So whether it's a government or a private or a community or even startups, which is again private, but I would consider private in two phases. Something like a bigger group like Lufthansa is big private, and some company like us as social entrepreneurs is a smaller private. So I think a common denominator needs to be accounted for to bridge the gap.
And what about you, Ricardo? Because Destinia is a tour operator, but you work on a global level. So not only do you have the public and private tussle.
You know, you said something that is super interesting. That is, after the pandemic, we have found that a lot of travelers are really conscious and are looking for sustainable travel. So we have found something that is super complicated. That is, we have found the demand. Okay, great. Now we need the offer, and we need to connect the offer and the demand. For example, we are selling in 95 countries currently, and sometimes we cannot offer some kind of product because we are not able to create this product on a local basis. And this is the reason we need to start with the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur is able to create on the local basis and is able to really keep and stay on the local, on the town, on the village, on the rural area, in order to keep everything sustainable. And this is the way we can really speed and accelerate the improvement of the rural areas.
Just to add to what you were saying, you know, his company is an OTA, very renowned, big OTA. You got 32 villages here. I mean, we would love to have experiences in those villages, if those villages have connectivity. It's very simple, you know, the entrepreneurs are here, the villages are here, and here you have the OTA. That's how you need to merge it. That's how you bridge the gap.
And that's the trigger, you know, because once your product is online and you have the public sector that is really promoting and really creating this demand, you start to see the booking and see the travelers and the magic start to happen.
Magic.
I can see you're going to be the most popular man at dinner later. So, but also the biggest challenges identified by the UNWTO were infrastructure and skills. So for instance, 2 weeks ago, I was in the Philippines and we were filming in a surf town called Siargao. So think Bali 30 years ago. And there's up-and-coming restaurants and hotels, yet they import all their food from the mainland, like Mindanao or Manila. Yet there are all these local farmers with all this produce, and it's only been in the last year or so that the NGO has come in and started to connect these people. You know, how difficult is it? And would you agree that infrastructure and skills are the two main things in trying to bridge this gap?
I guess infrastructure is fundamental. Without infrastructure, it's impossible to create the product, or it's super difficult, or we won't be able to create or to get the scale we need. But apart from that, I guess the skills, one of the things you said is one of the task of the public sector is to facilitate, to really connect the dots. You know, connect the company, the OTA, the tour operator with the local entrepreneur, with the funds in order to move the things on. And I guess, for sure, skills and infrastructure are two main things.
Would you agree, Paris?
Absolutely. I mean, for us, because we work on destination creation and rural tourism, I'll give you a very simple case study. You know, examples are very tangible to understand. We electrified a village very close on a beautiful lake, and they had resorts near the lake, but the village had no travel and tourists because there was no road connected to it. But we electrified the village, 30 households with solar power. And along the electrification, we set up 5 homestays, which is basically a guest house.
Right.
And then we put them on booking.com. Next time we'll put on yours as well. Sorry.
Well done.
Yes.
Next time.
Next time. And we saw travelers going to those homestays. And the next thing we thought was, it's clear skies, it's Himalayas, and the light is not much. Let's start astrotourism. So that village became an astro-stay village. People called it an astro-stay village. So the travelers from the nearby resort started coming in the night to that village just for the astrotourism and the astronomy and stargazing. 1 year later, the government started making a road, and the phone connectivity came in, and the water pipeline came in. Now you have every house a homestay, you get good travelers in, there is a water conservation, water harvesting system. We promote now 30 homestays from that village. And now that village has light, it has medical facility upgraded, it has water, it has homestays. So that's how you upgrade a village to a destination in a very prescribed manner.
That's fantastic. See, it's chicken and egg syndrome, isn't it? I would have thought the road would have come first, and then the tourism.
Yeah, it's very subjective to what happens next, right? So this just triggered to the government that seems like there's a lot of traction happening, a lot of pressure around. The local mayor mentioned something the local mayors can also do, is automatically things starts happening when you show them a good pilot.
And it's all about changing lives, isn't it? What does it feel like for you, Paris, when you see these villages that have totally transformed, and you've given them an economic lifeline, haven't you?
So we started this is the 10th year of our business. We started in 2013, and now we've electrified more than 215 villages in the Himalayas. And there are many more. I was in ITB last week, And we were speaking to some guy from Tajikistan, and the guy comes from Bolivia. So we have villages across the world which are so remote yet very beautiful. For us, I believe financing is a very important step, because you just can't go into a village and electrify it. You need finance for it. So we conduct expeditions where travelers fund for the cost. But nowadays we have this climate financing also coming in, the carbon financing. If you use it intelligently, all these destinations can not only become, climate positive, but can also give back to the, corporates certain offsets which they can play with as well. So I think it's, for us, it's always going forward, looking at creating more villages in a holistic manner, which will in turn create more entrepreneurs. So that's the vision we are looking at.
Absolutely. Great. And what about you, Ricardo? I guess you see both ends of the spectrum, but can you give me some examples of lives that have changed with like smaller offerings, smaller villages that have booked on your
when you
site?
are looking at the things at the scale, it's complicated to go to the detail, and it's super complicated because you can see it directly. But the point is, we are selling. The intermediaries in the travel industry have been creating destinations since 50 years ago. The tour operators started, the airlines did it too, and now we have the capability to really create new destinations and to add secondary destination to the main destination. You can go to Madrid and later visit another village.
As a complement.
And this is the kind of product that we really need to offer value. And one thing that is very important is we really need to understand in which part of the value chain we are, and how can we offer value, because we cannot do everything. We cannot create the demand and create the offer and connect everything. No, we cannot do it. We have to understand where we are and how can we offer value to the chain.
Okay, well that's wonderful. We are out of time, but it's so fulfilling to know that there's so many new destinations still coming on board. When you think that tourism is still growing, there's small villages that are doing so well, and that you're able to help people that never thought they would be able to tap into tourism like this.
So I'm actually looking at these 30 villages which we showcased today to try and see if we can support them anyhow and get some kind of work going there and get them onto his website, right?
Yes. So yeah, it's really inspiring. Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good discussion.
Thank you, Carmen and gentlemen, for such a great debate, and a pleasure to have you here, absolutely. And now, ladies and gentlemen, back for another last journey into the wonderful best tourism villages by UNWTO. Please enjoy.
Hola, soc en Miquel Vall de Bertran, soc forner d'aquí de Rupit, i el negoci que regentem la família és el Fort de l'Era. Si no hi hagués turisme, seria un poble com molts d'aquests que hi ha mig abandonats, amb 4 cases. Vull dir, aquí has de pensar que tots són, aquí o vius del turisme, o ets ramader, o la construcció que va lligada al turisme, no hi ha res més.
And so we come to our last segment of the best tourism villages of UNWTO 2022. And I promise this is the last time it will happen during today. Please welcome Your Excellency, the Minister of Tourism of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Secretary General on stage.
With Europe, from Romania, please welcome the Mayor of Rasinari and His Excellency, the State Secretary for Tourism of Romania. Please. Rasinari is located in a unique ethnographic region of Romania, Transylvania, It's a mountain area composed of 18 villages with 40,000 inhabitants that share the same traditions and architecture. The village has a rich history in sheep breeding and produces a large variety of local products. Local cheese is a flagship product celebrated through the cheese route of Sibiu County. Congratulations.
Warm round of applause to Romania. Thank you very much. And now, joining us on stage from our host village, which some of you had the opportunity of discovering today, and I'm sure will have the chance of discovering much more. Representing Alula Old Town, please welcome Mr. Rami Al-Mualim, Operations Executive Director of the Royal Commission for Alula. And joining him on stage is also Amira Alonzi. Amira is a young lady working for Alula and contributing to the vision of transforming Alula into a sustainable and inclusive destination. Focused on responsibility and sustainability, regenerating the cultural and natural landscape of Alula, the Royal Commission of Alula is creating the world's largest living museum, where the world comes to meet. Part of the Oasis Valley, Alula Town is a stronghold of the natural cultural heritage of its people, dating back thousands of years. Congratulations to Alula Old Town.
And now, traveling from the Middle East to Europe, from Alcázar, which is in an Arabic name, which means Alcázar, the fortress, in Spain. Please welcome Mayor Mariano Altemir and His Excellency, the Ambassador of Spain to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please join us on stage. Alcázar, the World Heritage Site by UNESCO, is known for its natural and heritage values. Alongside the growth of population, the range of economic activities in Alcázar has expanded and diversified to include agriculture, livestock, and tourism. Currently, there are more than 60 companies in town which promote sustainable tourism to generate employment throughout the year, and employment rate of women is increasing. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Alcázar, Mayor. It was a pleasure to have you. Let's immortalize this moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. His Excellency, the Ambassador, I invite you to continue on stage. And also from Spain, representing the city of Guadalupe, which unfortunately could not join us today, please welcome Mr. Felix de Paz from the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Tourism of Spain. Far from the large towns and accessible only through mountainous roads, Guadalupe offers insights into vast heritage. Its famous monastery possesses more than 200 books printed before the 16th century. Some of this actually brought to Guadalupe for the first time by Cristobal Colombo. A tourism sustainability plan is currently being developed by the village and is in implementation, showing the commitment of Guadalupe to sustainable tourism. Congratulations. Mr. Felix, thank you so much. His Excellency the Ambassador.
And also from Spain, the only country of this edition that has achieved 3 villages. From Rupit, please welcome Mayor Mercè Pujol. The village of medieval origin, preserved Baroque buildings from the 17th century, has been named as European Charming Village. Rupit has initiated the Mobile Week Rupit for the development of sustainable and responsible tourism and to promote new technologies in the rural world. The program strengthens multi-level governance and active community participation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I hope that you're taking note of all these names and all these cities in your traveling list, because they have shown their commitment to sustainability, and now they're worth being among the best tourism villages of the world by UNWTO. Next, representing Murten in Switzerland, please welcome His Excellency, the Ambassador of Switzerland to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Murten has a history that precedes more than 6,000 years, and as the scene of a great battle has played a major role in the Swiss history. Murten is known by its perfectly preserved and accessible city walls. Strolling the old town, one can admire its preservation, and its eyes will be drawn to the mountains and the fountains that adorn the streets. Congratulations to Murten. Her Excellency, we invite you to stay on stage. And continuing in Switzerland.
And also from Switzerland, representing Andermatt, please welcome on stage Mr. Thomas Christen. Andermatt lies at the heart of the Swiss Alps and is blessed with a great variety of alpine flora and wildlife, mountain lakes, brooks, springs, and untouched mountainous areas. Andermatt's responsible is a campaign to advocate for sustainable, climate-friendly tourism in the Andermatt region. The aim is to facilitate tourism operations in a way that preserves resources. They have implemented a number of sustainable initiatives across several areas, including energy, outdoor, mobility, real estate, remaining 100% carbon neutral, becoming plastic-free, car-free policy, and supporting community projects. Congratulations to both.
Thank you very much to Andermatt. Thank you very much, and a warm round of applause to both Swiss cities, Andermatt and Murten. And from Switzerland to Turkey, we are joined on stage to represent the city of Birgi, Mrs. Atis Koksal. Please join us. Pleasure to have you with us. The picturesque village of Birgi has a history of settlements dating back from over 5,000 years. Women play an active role in tourism and the associated social areas. For centuries, Birgi has become one of the largest villages in the region, acting as a trade hub on the historical Silk Road, where a variety of agricultural leather, silk and woves goods were produced and traded. Thank you very much to Turkey, and congratulations.
Now from Turkey, we go to far from Vietnam, representing Tai Hai. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Thi Thanh Hai Nguyen and His Excellency, the Ambassador of Vietnam to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The UNESCO Cultural Heritage Village of Tai Hai covers 20 hectares of green forest area. The Thai community of 4 generations preserving the traditional culture, including its language, custom, rituals, ceremonies and clothes as tourism attractions. The village has developed the traditional Thai culture as the soul and root of tourism development. Tourists can enjoy traditional customs, language and gastronomy, participate in spiritual and cultural festivals, enjoy traditional music and make traditional handicraft. This encourages local people to further appreciate their traditional culture, whereby they have formed a tourism developing community which simultaneously promotes economic, social and environmental sustainability in the village. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone, for this amazing journey. And now back to you, Fatma.
Thank you, Sandra and Antonio. Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Al-Khatib, and Your Excellency, Secretary General. Please remain on stage with us for the group picture. And Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we congratulate all those who participated with us today, and we look forward to the next edition as well. And there is no better way to reach the end of this wonderful journey than to immortalize this milestone with a group picture. So it is my great pleasure to invite the Vice Minister of Tourism in Saudi Arabia, Her Highness Princess Haifa bint Mohammed Al Saud, and to join His Excellency and the Secretary General, of course. And it is a great pleasure also to call on stage His Excellency, the State Minister of Tourism of Ethiopia, His Excellency, the State Secretary of Tourism of Romania, His Excellency, the Deputy Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development of Georgia, and His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities of Jordan. Joining them, please, our CEO as well. And I would like to call on their excellencies, the ambassador of each of the following countries: Austria, Italy, Mexico, Peru, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, and Vietnam. And of course, we would like to call on the representatives of the winning villages to join their excellencies for the group picture. Welcome everyone on stage, and many, many heartfelt congratulations. And I would love to also call Mr. Fahad Hamid Din to join us for this group picture as well. I hear some special guest is here today, Mr. Jerry. Very lovely seeing you. Please join us for the group picture as well. Congratulations to everyone here today. Such a lovely ceremony, wonderful villages, and great, great efforts being made from all around the world. Many delegations from 40 countries, more than 40 countries around the world. Thank you, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. Please note that we have buses waiting at the main gate for all of you to take you to the gala dinner, hosted by His Excellency, the Saudi Minister of Tourism, Mr. Ahmed Al Khatib. Please join us at the gala dinner. So we have the gala dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Again, buses are waiting for you right outside at the main gate to take you right to the gala dinner. We would love to see you all there to enjoy the dinner hosted by His Excellency Ahmed Al Khatib. Have a lovely evening and wonderful time in Al Ula.